YouTube. How are you? How are you? Oh my. Booger's got the zoomies. She's had the zoomies for a minute. Booger, hey, you back there. What are you doing? She's tearing up my couch. She's tearing up the house. Come here. What are you doing? You got the zoomies, do you? All right. Have fun with that. I'll fix the couch later. It cat life. Cat issues, cat problems, hashtag cat life, cat mama. She got the morning zoomies. Sometimes she gets them at night, sometimes in the morning. It's cat stuff. What are you going to do? Anyway, I wanted to sit down and do a react to Chantal's newest video called It's Over. Now, I did this react yesterday, but after watching it back, I didn't like the way I sounded. I was kind of in a mood yesterday, had nothing to do with any of you guys, had just being aggravated about Chantal and her behavior. Really aggravated. You know how you get aggravated at foodie? Well, that was me yesterday. I was on 10 with it all. And I watched the react back and I'm like, I really want to redo the react and talk more from a place of sense, not let her get to me so bad. So I'm redoing this whole thing over. But the bonus is, since yesterday, there are some really interesting things on Twitter that I've been saving that I'd like to show to all of you. Just some little tidbits of this and that, and give other people's thoughts as well as my own to this react. So it'll be beneficial to do this thing completely over. So we're going to do that. So what are we looking at today? Well, give me just a second and I'll tell you after I drink my coffee. So yeah, she did a video called It's Over. And of course, the video got a few more extra clicks due to the title. Chantal knows how to put in clickbait titles to get people watching. By first glance, if you see the title, you might think that she's talking about her relationship with Salah, and she might be going home. So of course, you're going to click on the video and think, is she talking about herself and Salah? Is it something else? Well, let me just give you a few spoilers. She's not talking about herself and Salah. She's talking about the fact that she is no longer going to come on YouTube and talk about her health, her personal issues. She's just going to go all in and talk about the food and do the mukbangs. So yeah, she is basically saying out loud that she's going to go all in with the feedie content and cater exclusively to the feedies. Do I think it's because she's got a trip coming up and she really needs the money? Yes, that's important. She needs money for travel, whether she's going back home to Canada or she's just going abroad to do a visa hop, visa run. She needs money. So she wants to focus in on that. Do I think she should be doing the feedie stuff on YouTube? I've been saying for a while, no, I don't think she should be doing it on YouTube. It's not good for her to do, whether it's on a private platform or a public platform. But doggone it, Chantal, if you're going to do it, why not be smart about it and take it to, say, OnlyHands or Patreon or something? And that way, those people that want to see it, that will pay to see it, can see it there. But of course, you decided long ago to take the fetish content and put it on YouTube. Your way of thinking was, if I put it on YouTube, YouTube is a free public platform, and there's a greater chance of people coming across me, and I will at least get some Google AdSense money just from ordinary views. And the bonus to that would be if I attract the feedies and I can do the private content for them and make extra cash. So you were looking at it from a money standpoint of, I can make this money, this money, this money, and this money, versus taking it to a private platform where you would have to advertise it. And on top of that, you would be in direct competition with people that are already there and already have established profiles and a fan base. You don't like competition. You're afraid of competition. So you wanted to come to a platform that really wasn't necessarily meant for feedy stuff. You just decided to do the feedy stuff under the guise of mukbangs. Not good for yourself, not good for anybody who watches you. And if we are going to be very frank, when it comes to any kind of fetish content, even audience members and people watching you, they should have the right to consent to what they're looking at. If you're doing something fetish related, even those who are spectators, they should be informed about what they're looking at so they can give consent where they want to watch or they want to walk away. But you take the consent away by being kind of under the covers about what you do and not telling people directly about what you're really about. So those people that don't want to see it, you're indirectly exposing them to it and negatively affecting them. And that's why it's wrong. So tell you what, guys, let's go directly to Twitter and we'll go over all the Twitter stuff and then we'll get into Chantal's video. All right, so I've got it all set up. I am a prepared student today. And let's see. Let me just pull that up. All right. So we're going to have some positive stuff mixed in with the Chantal stuff. I like to mix it up a bit, do some palate cleansers because, warning, the video we're about to watch from Chantal, it's going to make you aggravated. It's going to make you real aggravated. I might go off again, but I'm trying to talk more from a place of sense today. You know, not let her get to me. So that's why we're doing the do-over. Okay, so posts of cats. So for anybody who has heard of the cat distribution system, this is how it works. Courtesy of post of cats saying you've been adopted human. It's just that quick. It's just that simple. You get chosen. They walk up to you and they're like, you're taking me home. Don't argue. Just do it. You are now my human. This is how the cat distribution system works. You don't find them. They find you. And once they find you and they choose you, that's it. No reason to argue. Just deal with it. But look at it this way. If they choose you, it's because you're supposed to be their human and you will get many years of enjoyment and happiness and loyalty and love from that little being with the furry feet. So the cat distribution system, it exists. It works. It's how I found my cat Booger. It's how Blackie, the outside feral cat, came to me. So I am into the cat distribution system. They know my name and they keep sending little ones to me. And I'm not mad about it. If you get chosen, that means you're a good person and the universe recognizes that. And it's your job to take care of little beings like this. So there you have it. Okay, so let's move on to Foodie. Kat Von B says, if you don't believe in feeder corn, here's a little clip for you. Foodie Beauty is catering to the feedy people. By the looks of things, her YouTube is a PG version of Cornhub. She's using the channel for corn. I'll say the word again, corn. Yeah, we have to use the word corn. Anybody who's watching this video, if you're like, Rose, what are you talking about, corn? Listen, there are just some words we cannot say in a monetized video on YouTube. So replace the C with a P. You get what we're talking about. For some reason that is unnamed, YouTube will allow Chantal to do her content on YouTube and not shut her down, even though they got policies in place saying that she can't do this. But if a reactor who's not doing that kind of content, we're just commenting on it, if we say certain words, they get a problem with the words. And the bots pick up on it during the processing part, and they will ding you. They'll give you the yellow dollar sign or the red dollar sign. So that's why we have to use code words. It's not because we want to. We hate it. It's just that we kind of have to so that YouTube will be okay with us. So yeah, do I agree with Tat Von B? Absolutely. She's doing the fetish content in a place where it does not belong. And YouTube is allowing it, and shame on them. There are channels that have been taken away and not given back for a lot less than what she's doing. But for some reason, they insist on letting her stay. So what can you do? YouTube makes the rules. They can break the rules, they can bend the rules, they can do whatever they want. My personal opinion about the TOS, from everything I've seen, I think the terms of service, that was a list of rules they came up with to make the advertisers feel more comfortable in advertising with them. They're not rules that necessarily get followed to the letter, but it's just something on paper to show the advertisers, yes, we are family friendly. You can put your ads here. They want to make their money, but they're not about reinforcing the rules and making everybody else follow them. So moving on. Nana Spiked Tea says, excellent theory. She can no longer go to his channel talking about Natter and reminisce about their love affair. With these videos gone, Foodie Beauty is no longer part of his world. Dell says, if anyone would like my theory on one of the reasons why Chantal is so angry this week, these videos, among others, were all still up on Natter's channel prior to it being terminated. I think it's an excellent theory. I also believe that even to this day, Chantal is still talking to Natter, communicating with Natter, perhaps even sending him money. But she is someone that she likes to constantly live in the past. Have you guys noticed that? She's a very history oriented person. She talks about stories and experiences in her childhood. She doesn't focus on the now. There's nothing happy to talk about now. So she always goes back in time mentally and emotionally to talk about things from her past because, according to Chantal, those were happier times versus now. So she was with Natter. She was obsessed with Natter. She was obsessed with the idea of being with him and having him claim her or her claiming him. So yeah, she's going to get angry about the fact that she can't just simply, in a lonely moment, watch these videos and think about how things used to be. Being with Natter, eating all kinds of food, having more money. And she's irritated that the Natter El Shami channel is gone. He's still got the Natty Daddy channel. Don't know for how much longer, but she just can't go back in time that way. Unless they give the channel back, which I don't think they will. He's not anybody important on YouTube, so YouTube could just scrap his channel and, not blink an eye. But here's some screenshots from some of the stuff they did when she was hanging out with him. I'm glad that you included these screenshots because I want to point something out that is striking me right away. Take a look at how they look at each other, like how much more personable it looks. Natter did not like Chantal, but compare how they look here compared to how she and Salah interact with each other. Like how much more she was into Natter versus Salah. The difference is very, 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 very marked. I still think she wants to be with Natter. Do I think that Natter wants to be with her? No. Natter's a scumbag, but he's smart enough to realize where the stability is. Dee has words. Dee has the stability. She has the steady home that he can count on. I don't know if he's working. I don't know if she's working, but that environment is stable. And Dee is also stable, and he can count on that. Versus Chantal, who's completely unstable in every respect and in every level of her life. Her money is unstable. Her health is unstable. If he left Dee to be with Chantal, it would be on the grounds of instability. And he's someone that he doesn't have very much. And if he moved on with somebody who was unstable, well, how long is that ground going to be there before it, comes up under him? So he doesn't have very much. He's holding on to the stability that he has with Dee, and he's not going to let it go. This is the reason why Chantal will never get him back. On top of the fact that he has no affection for her, on top of the fact that her health is so bad, at any given moment, anything could happen. You would think someone like Chantal that wants a man in her life, she would kind of get the clue that she needs stability with herself, with her life. Just there has to be something there to hold on to for herself and somebody else, showing that you are unstable. Anything can happen at any time, and you don't clearly care about yourself. No one could put any kind of trust or faith on that. If you're looking for a life partner, you're looking for someone that'll be there for life, not someone that'll be there for 1 minute and gone the next. You're looking for stability, something you can believe in, something you can trust in, something you can build off of. You can't build off of Chantal. She's a building that is slowly imploding in on itself. So Chantal, if you're over there and you're wondering, why can't I be with Natter? Why didn't Natter want to be with me? I can give you the answer right here, right now. A, because he wasn't into you to begin with. It was always a financial agreement between you two. And as long as the agreement was in place and the money was there, he was there. But he had no actual feelings for you. Also, something of important note, all that crazy behavior of yours, all of you're throwing your temper and temper tantrums and threatening to go to the cops and trying to use any means necessary to control him. You showed a very volatile, violent, unstable aspect of yourself that I'm sure made him stop and think about if he ever went off with you, that was what he would have to deal with. A controlling, possessive, insecure, jealous woman who would not allow him to have a life or go anywhere or do anything or talk to anybody. Like, you would just be an absolute nightmare. By trying to control him, you were showing the worst of yourself. And I'm sure he took note of all of that and said, no, thank you. That's entirely too much. And now, Chantal, you've arrived at a place where you're over 550 pounds. And any man that takes you on, whether it be for a minute, an hour, or a year, they know going in that you're going to be a lot. And you don't have the money anymore to justify somebody taking on all of that burden and all of that responsibility that you seem worth the squeeze. Once upon a time, you had lots of money, but not anymore. So you can't throw the same game. Maybe that's why you're still hanging on to Salah, because he might be the last sucker that you pull into your game. There's going to be no more after him. You are far too sick. You are far too unstable. You are basically flying on the seat of your pants. And the sugar babies that you try to take on, in small parts, are looking for some kind of stability, and you're not offering it. So, great post by Nana Spike T and Dell. Let's keep going. Queen of WTF says the people cheering you on to do mukbangs are not your friends. Let me say that again. The people cheering you on to do mukbangs are not your friends. That sentence right there. Chantal, I know you watch my videos. You really need to get it through your head that anybody encouraging you to eat, whether it's your subscribers or it's Salah or anybody, they are not your friends. They want something from you, but wanting something from you doesn't mean they care for you or they have your best interest at heart. They just want something from you, and if you're providing, that's what they're there for. And the moment you stop providing what they want, they might walk away. And if they walk away, they weren't your friends to begin with. Because friends are there for you and they want the best for you and they care for you. They would never want you to truly hurt yourself. You're trying way too hard to cater to these feedy people. Not a single one of them are your friends. And I'll even go so far as to say that the people that are on your channel, your own subscribers, that they come into your chat room and they talk about food, knowing you have an issue with food, knowing you hyperfixate on food 24/7. They aren't your friends either. Because what person would walk up to another person who is an active addict with an extreme habit, and talk about the subject of their addiction to their face. I mean, that's just insane. Even if you bring up the subject, those that care about you, what they should be doing is saying, let's talk about something else. Anything, anything you want. You want to talk about the weather? You want to talk about political events? You want to talk about dog walking? You want to talk about cat sitting? You want to talk about the local zoo? Let's talk about that stuff. Let's get your mind off of food for at least an hour. But they're not doing that. They bring up food all the time. They talk about food and, oh, I just ate this and I want to eat that. Very unkind, uncaring behavior. And I have to wonder if some of your subscribers, if they're really gunning for your early demise, if they're trolls and secretly in the background, they want to see your early demise. And so they're just putting the thoughts in your mind to make that happen. Just a thought I had. I don't know how you feel about it, but I just can't fathom being an addict of something and then somebody walking up to me and talking about that thing, knowing I'm going to fixate on it and do it. Like, how would that person be a friend? Anyway, going on to the rest of the post, I'm all for doing what makes you happy and living your life. But at some point, you got to face the facts. And the decisions you make and yours will unalive you. It's really that simple. So let's watch the clip from Queen of WTF.
My channel on mukbangs. I did start doing, weight loss content after that and all that stuff. It's a very eclectic channel, so it has different audiences, When I start doing weight loss stuff, the weight loss audience comes out and says, yay. And the mukbang people say boo, and then it's like.
Do you know what the problem is? Over the years, Chantal, in order to grow her channel and grow her audience, she has made a point to try to attract and pull in different people from different areas of YouTube. Just tap into different algorithms. That's why she flip-flops so much. 1 minute she's doing the weight loss, the next minute she's doing the mukbangs. She talks about her BED, puts tags related to BED on her content. She's talked about supposed abuse that never happened. Never happened. And I'll die on that hill. I'll before I die on it, I'll put up a tent. I will throw up a campfire and I will roast some s'mores. Okay, I'll be there for a while. But she talks about so many different things, tapping into different algorithms. And hold on just a second. Let's go deeper. Let's go further with it. This may sound awful. This is just how I'm thinking. I don't know how you guys feel. But I think that Chantal is an effed up, broken person, that she searches out topics and she searches out people that in some respects, they are bruised in some way. They are broken in some way. They're struggling with different issues. She's tapping into different algorithms and groups of people looking for those broken people. She's a broken person in a lot of respects, and she's also looking for broken people. So she goes on YouTube, researching different algorithms and looking for people that are broken, that they might be looking for a place to belong and not feel out of place or abnormal. And she wants to gather them all to her. So she's, like, let's talk about BED. Let's talk about EDs. Let's talk about addiction. Let's talk about I've been supposedly hurt by somebody. They were so awful to me. Looking for people that have been through some pretty serious things or are dealing with pretty serious emotional issues, mental issues, depression. She's just casting a wide net, looking for those people that maybe aren't feeling their best or just going through it. And she wants to make them feel like you belong here. You belong with me when nobody belongs with Chantal. This is a very manipulative, evil, twisted, demented, awful, negative person filled with negative energy that literally feeds off of negative energy. A lot of us, we go through stuff, right? And we have our dark moments, but we still have our positive energy. It's sometimes tough to tap into it because, you know, when you get in the weeds, you can't feel it. But when you work your way out of the weeds, you still can. Chantal doesn't like positive energy. She doesn't want things to get better. She doesn't want to heal. She collects negative energy. She sucks it in from people. She's at the point now where positive energy feels bad for her. She's very comfortable with negative energy. The abnormal is her normal. It's kind of backwards. Her cables are crossed a different way. So just something to know. You know, she's living her whatever so-called life on camera. And if you want my opinion, I think she wants to DIE in front of an audience. She doesn't want to DIE alone. It's like, I don't know if that's her plan to pass away during a live, but I hope not. I don't want to see that. And I don't think anybody else wants to either. I think it'd be far too traumatic for the YouTube audience. I think that might be too much. I do remember one moment that she had during the finger guns, pumped up kicks, drunk live, where she was sitting still in her chair. And I was scared for her. I'm like, are we watching her have a heart attack? Because she just sat there and she looked like she had lost control of her body. I'm like, what is going on here? I honestly thought this might be the end. And I'm like, I don't want to see this. I really don't want to see it. But then it ended up where she just got really, really ill. But just, is that the way you want to go, Chantal? In front of an audience? Because I'm not interested in seeing it, ma'am. I really, really don't. I hope that's not the plan at all. So Mo Translates says, if you thought Chantal's latest video titled It's Over and Done addresses the most important love relationship in her life, it does. It's about her one true love, food. Yep, that's true. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I didn't play the rest of the clip. Let me go ahead and play it now.
And vice versa every time I change my mind. But I want to be consistent. And I think that, you know, I just want to just do that content for now. Well,
one thought about this. Chantal, she likes to play follow the leader. Like, she is always paying attention to the reaction channels, the reaction channel audience, but also other creators, what they're doing. And she often copies their content, like Amberlyn Reed, and more recently, Hungry Fat Chick. So there's a clip here on Twitter. I'm going to show it here in the react. Hungry Fat Chick did a Wendy's mukbang. Within hours, Chantal did one. I can't make heads or tails of it. I don't know why someone who is so incredibly ill, very ill, would want to copy someone else's content if it meant it was going to make their health worse. But Chantal is clearly paying attention to Candy, Hungry Fat Chick. Hungry Fat Chick has a channel that's twice the size of Chantal's. And she's just deciding, you know what? I'm going to go all in with the feeder corn and give it to them. I got a trip to plan. Maybe I might have to go home, and I'm just going to go for it. I'm not going to talk about my personal life or my sickness or my diabetes. You want to know why, y'all? Here are my thoughts about that. Because it's not profitable enough. If she were getting 20, 30, 40K a video talking about that stuff, she would talk about it until she was blue in the face. She would make 200 videos talking about her diabetes, talking about this, talking about that. But clearly, those videos, when she puts them up, they don't get as many views as, say, her regular mukbang content. So she's just zeroing in on what gets her the most attention and what makes her the most money. She needs the money for travel. She needs the money for Salah. She might have to leave Kuwait altogether, so she needs as much coin in her pocket as possible. So I feel that's the reason why she's like, I'm not talking about my personal life. Da-da-da. It's not profitable enough. It isn't. It's not profitable enough. I remember back when she was talking about SA and DV, that subject was so incredibly profitable that she talked about it multiple times. She wouldn't shut her mouth. She just kept bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up, looking for sympathetic people in her audience. And she ran the gamut with that until she could not run it into the ground anymore. So it's about profit, isn't it, Chantal? It is about profit. You're looking for the most profitable topics, the most profitable videos that you can do. You're trying to zero in on the food. Hey, if you get sick from it, that's on you. Okay, moving on to Yup Yup. Yup Yup says Foodie is the way she is because she's found people who allow her to behave however she wants. She's avoided all responsibilities because she's been allowed to. Scatman could end all this today if only he'd tell Foodie no. I mostly agree with you, Yup Yup. I really do. At the same time, I respectfully, politely disagree. And I politely and respectfully disagree due to the fact that Chantal, she's the one making the money, not Salah. She always makes the money and maintains control of the money just so no one can tell her no or deny her. She wants the power to be able to say, well, I make the money, I can spend it how I want to. If you have someone who's addicted to food like Chantal and they're making the money, how can anybody say you can't spend your own money? So she's an out of control person, but she maintains control of the one thing that keeps some of this going, which is the money. Also, it is my opinion, my thought, that given Chantal's past behavior, her being the type of female that if you don't give her what she wants, she will threaten you with whatever it is she can threaten you with, whether it's violence, whether it's threats, blackmail. I'm actually wondering, and I've been wondering for a while, if she's got something on Salah. Like she's threatening to do something to herself or something to him or his family to where he can't leave. He just has to go along with the program until it ends on its own. He can't end it himself. I'm not saying this to give sympathy to that man because honestly, he could have ended it months and months and months ago, well over 2 years ago. The first time they met, he got a good gander at her and saw how things were. And the first time she went back home to Canada, he could have changed his number and not talked to her again. His want of her money, his greed of her money is what's caused all this to happen and keep it going for so long. So the bulk of the misery that he feels is his fault. They are two scammers who came together, lied to each other, and neither one has done something to stop everything in its place. Just completely stop it. They both have kept it going for all the wrong reasons. And the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to get. And now we're at a point where the Kuwaiti government is saying anybody that's here that ain't supposed to be here, you got to go. And I think that is going to be the apple that tips over the apple cart. Like this, something or someone of higher rank and authority of Chantal, they're going to have to step in and stop this whole thing because she's not going to stop it. He's not going to stop it. But if, say, the Kuwait government, they're throwing down new policies and saying, if you're not here, like by the letter, you got to go. That might be the very thing that forces her out because she's not going to go on her own. If Chantal leaves, she's going to leave kicking and screaming, not because she's looking at Salah and saying, look, we tried for 2 years. It's going downhill. I've got my income to think about. It's not working out with you. I'm going to go home. Yeah, I'm going to eat a bunch of crap with Girl World. I might have to stay in a motel for about a month to get myself together. But this is what has to happen. She's not that sensible of a person to realize that she's losing the game. And as long as she does things the usual way, she's going to keep losing. She's not a sensible being. So she's always going to think and act insensibly and without reason and impulsively with this thought in her head of whatever's going on, I can fix it. Well, things are at a point now, Chantal, where you cannot fix it. You can't fix all the things by yourself. You don't know how. You don't have the right skills or the coping mechanisms. So you're going to be at a disadvantage. Your ego is your own worst enemy. Thinking you know everything, thinking you can lie about everything and get away with it, like all of it. It's a toxic tower that you've encased yourself in. It's your stronghold. But guess what? The stronghold is not so strong anymore. And it's time to realize that and really start to fix things, or not. Stay in your tower if you want. But I'll tell you this right now, the tower is coming down. And if you want to know why, it's not because of anything the girl world is doing to you. All we are is just a bunch of observers giving our thoughts, feelings, and opinions. We're not hurting you. You're hurting yourself. Do you understand that? You're hurting yourself, and you've been hurting yourself for years with bad choices and bad decisions that you are not acknowledging or recognizing. And you just keep going because in your mind, you always have to be right. Even when you're wrong, you have to insist that you're right because you don't want to admit to being human and making a mistake. Guess what? We all make mistakes. We all make bad choices. But we realize that they're bad choices and we do our best to fix them and do better the next time. But you never do. Hence the reason why you're emotionally stunted, in my opinion. You're stunting your own growth. You're stopping yourself from growing. You're stopping yourself from being better. And I have to wonder, it's because you're so subscribed to negative energy that if you had a positive life or positive energy, it just, for you, it wouldn't feel good because you're so used to the negative being your comfort zone. Just some thoughts for me. So as far as Scatman telling her no, I don't think it's that simple. She is a manipulative, controlling person that doesn't want to hear the word no. You tell her no, she's going to throw a tantrum. She might throw something at you. I don't know, but she's a terror. Okay. All right. So this is something positive. Little palate cleanser from Science Girl, size of a Maine cat next to a typical cat. So that's a Maine Coon. They are big, fluffy cats. I had one once. His name was Fizzgig. He was such a boy. He was a big love boy. Funny problem with my Maine Coon, Fizzgig. You see the size of this cat, right? Look at the size of this cat. I bought the biggest litter box that you can buy commercially for Fizzgig, and he was so big. This poor baby, he would just constantly poo outside the litter box because he couldn't fit his butt in the litter box. And I tried and I find a big enough box, and it was just hard. It was like he was just too big. And I bought an XL size litter box. I mean, huge. It still wasn't big enough. But you guys can see why. Look how big this thing is. They are big, fluffy boys. They are so fluffy and pretty, very pretty. All right. Oh, things to do. Would you like to walk in the rain? Absolutely. Oh, where is this place? Where can I visit it? Where is it? What's the name of it? Why aren't you putting the name of this place? That is gorgeous. I would love to walk in the rain. I would do it without an umbrella and just get wet. Who cares? Just go take a walk in that misty, serene, fairy tale looking forest. Gorgeous. Where is this place? Where is it? I'm obsessed. I need to know. Just that'd be a perfect place and a time to clear your head in the fog, in the rain, alone. Hey, where can I sign up? Thank you for posting that. Oh, things to do. And this from Why You Should Have a Cat. Look, it's the baby with the full belly, looking like a boba tea. I like the fact he's got a full belly, though. He got a full belly. All right. Cats that heal your depression. We truly don't deserve cats. So this whole clip that was posted, this cat was following this gentleman around. Again, the cat distribution system working again. So this cat outside was like, I'm choosing you, human. Don't fight it. And look, Look, the system knows what it's doing. It knows good humans. It knows good owners. It'll bring the cat to you. Okay, look. The cat's, again, the cat running up to the human saying, you've been chosen. Here's your Willy Wonka golden ticket for cats. Okay, who did this? Scorpio Angel, Kia not included. Not Carby. No, I grew up with Barbies. Okay, I think a lot of us did. Not Carby. Don't ruin my childhood. That's just so wrong. It's so right, but it's so wrong. But Carby. That's funny. Well done, Scorpio Angel. Well done. Nana Spike T says, I don't think drama is worse for my health than a cheeseburger at this point. Hashtag foodie. Huge difference. You can walk away from drama. You can't walk away from food. Keep lying to yourself, foodie, because seriously, no one cares. Eat at all the things that make you happiest. Well, the reason why no one cares is because it's been going on for years. And there's not a single thing that any of us can do for her. So those that are beezers saying that we're hateful people, how are we hateful? We're over here pointing out what she's doing wrong to herself. We're pointing out the fact that even though she tries to hide behind filters, she is visibly getting bigger and unhealthier. She's getting on camera, unable to walk, having problems breathing, blah, blah, blah. We're pointing this stuff out to her. Whereas those who are her beezers, some of them are encouraging her to eat. So who's more in the wrong here? The ones who are pointing out the wrong, or the ones who might encourage her to do more wrong to herself? Who's encouraging the habits that are slowly unaliving her versus the ones just pointing it out, the things that we notice? Who is the more wrong and rotten here? Not Girl World. We're just observing. We're standing beside the cow pasture, watching the cow in the field, giving our opinions. If anybody doesn't want to hear it, they don't have to hear it. It's your choice. You're on YouTube. You can do what you want. But encouraging an addict in their addiction is wrong. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're at in the world, whether it's somebody in your real life you talk to or online, just being a complete jerk and mentioning the source of the addiction to the addict is wrong, y'all. It is so wrong. Addiction is your own personal private hell. It is the toughest battle you will ever face. You're in constant battles with yourself, fighting with yourself, fighting off negative thoughts, fighting off the urges to overindulge. You're always battling and it never stops until you get positive routines and positive habits and coping skills and coping mechanisms. You got more tools in your toolbox to fight with. Thing is, Chantal doesn't want to fight. She's got a toolbox. She just ain't opening it up. And the people that are on her channel that are into the food fetish, they know this and they take advantage. They take full advantage and she goes all in catering to them. So she perpetuates that whole negative system and she does not want to fix it. So let's see. Bunny Angel says, it's clickbait. She knows Mr. Snowflake's video is coming out and she knows people will see the real foodie. Blanked up, animal a blank she did to BBJ, and thanks to FFG, BBJ is living her best life. As for her, she's living her worst life, eating a meal for 4, making disgusting noises. Yeah, so I've heard that Mr. Snowflake released another episode for members yesterday. I don't know if it'll be available today for free for all, but I'd be very interested to see what Mr. Snowflake has to say. And I did get that sense from her video that this was kind of a preemptive strike. Like it did, everything is my past and don't pay attention to it. This felt kind of like a preemptive strike. I know the video for Mr. Snowflake is coming out. I know that a lot of my new beezers don't know about these things, and now these things are being brought up, and that might impact my channel and my income. So I'm basically circling the wagons, and I'm telling all of my beezers, don't pay attention to anything besides what's on the channel. Well, the problem is, Chantal, you lie. You lie, you hide, you disguise. And people don't like to be lied to. And your past would be the past if you were a completely different person now, but you're not. You're exactly the same. That's why the past matters, because the past really isn't the past. A lot of it is still very much present. Your food problem is still very much present. It's not in the past. Your addictions are very much present. Your impulsiveness, your selfishness, your narcissism, your ego. I mean, that's the core of who you are. And none of that has been addressed or fixed or healed. So it's not really the past like you claim. It's still very much there. But yeah, you guys can see the clickbait title. It's over and done. And the first thought is she talking about Salah? No, it's about her talking about health issues with food. Hidden Truths says, yes, you admitted that you would indulge in it if you travel where it is legal. You haven't changed at all. You are still the same spiteful person from the past. Changing takes effort, and you don't even try to work at it. Let's watch the clip.
Say that, I meant what I said in my post. I know I'm not the queen of consistency, and you guys expect me to change my mind and still expect me to go back and live in Canada and be different. But after a year and a half or more, almost 2 years, I think it's safe to say that a lot of chapters from that era are just done. It's over with. It's gone.
Well, one chapter that I know is completely done, Chantal, that lightning rarely strikes twice. And the lightning for you that I'm referring to is that whole period in Canada where you're making $20,000, $30,000 a month, the whole Natter arc. You'll never get that again. That's never going to happen again. You don't have the energy nor the health to make it happen again. And I don't know if Natter wants to go all in with you like he did before, because the person that went to Kuwait 2 years ago is not going to be the same person coming back. You're about 200 pounds heavier. You've got a lot more health issues. I don't know what mental or emotional issues you may have, but the feeling is you're becoming more and more unhinged. You need serious mental help that you're not getting. Like you are unraveling, and you're not looking at it. You're not addressing it. You're not acknowledging it. So anybody that gets near you, whether it's Natter or family members or friends, they're going to have a lot to deal with. You've changed a little bit in the respect of you've gotten worse, but you will never get back what you had with the Natter area as far as the money. Like that time is over. It's finished. Your main focus is money. That's your number one priority, because that's all you got left. When your main priority should be your health. But health has never been in your top 10. It's always been in like down at the bottom, like the top 500. Hence the reason why your life is so upside down. You never look at your health as being valuable, when it is. It absolutely is. Health is wealth. And you're bankrupt that way too. Just like with money, you're bankrupt on your health. You don't have anything left. And nobody's going to go all in with you being as sick as you are. There's nothing to count on. There's no stability. There's no consistency there. So, and by the way, you have an issue with party favors. And wherever you go in the world, you can't deny that you base your destinations on, can I get party favors? And the moment you touch down in that city, you're all about getting the party favors right away. I mean, the moment you get off the plane, it's like looking around. You go on Google Maps, I'm sure, and look around for different dispensaries and whatnot. That's what you did in Canada. And that's what you did in Thailand. I think that was one of the major appeals for Thailand. Things were cheaper there, plus they had dispensaries you could go to. So, yeah, can I get food? Can I get party favors? Great, let's go. There are certain things you can't get in Kuwait, but it doesn't mean by that you're recovered. It just means you're dry. You can't get to them. The moment you have access to stuff like that, you indulge. So you're not recovered from anything. You're just dry. It's but you might be supplementing wanting one thing for another thing and using the other thing as a substitute. That might be happening right now.
Gone. I don't have the want to go back to a lot of that a lot of things I'm glad are done. And I want to evolve in life, and I want to see where things are going to go. I want to stick to my goals.
What goals?
I want to travel so bad. Like, it's a yearning inside me that you don't understand.
I've heard this before. I'm not crapping on her want to travel, but I've heard this before. Before she went to Kuwait, she was spinning this tall tale of, I'm going to go to Kuwait and I'm going to get away from certain vices and life is going to be good. And I'm going to be with Salah and he's going to be a positive influence. Well, it's 2 years later. Her being in Kuwait has been an absolutely negative thing. She is so much bigger and unhealthier than she was back in Canada. And I think a lot of that has to do with the isolation factor, just being in a place where you can't get in your car and do things, just holding herself up in her room for like 2 years and doing nothing but eating and being lonely and nobody to talk to and just putting herself in her own little hamster cage. She chose that. She absolutely chose that. She had money issues in Canada, which if she had stayed in Canada and said, screw you, Salah, she could have fixed them all within a matter of, say, 6 months to a year. Just work, make money, pay off those debts, and she wouldn't have had to run to Kuwait. All that money spent in Kuwait, all that money spent on Salah could have been going for her debt. And Mr. Taxman would be off her back. But she's always doing things the wrong way. She talks about how much she wants to travel. Then why haven't you used that motivation to fix yourself, Chantal? And here's another thing. If you want to be with Salah so bad, why haven't you used that as motivation to get healthy? You did just the opposite. You were with Salah and treated him like an errand boy to go get your takeout. Rather than look at him and say, I like having somebody around me and I want to go out and do things with them, have fun with them. I can't do it right now. What can I do to fix it? No, you just simply, you have this weird fantasy life picture in your head of, I want to really go all in with a feeder corn. My fantasy life is to be in a room, propped up on pillows, have somebody fetch my food and do nothing. That's your fantasy life. That's honestly your fantasy life. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to do anything. You just want to be left alone to eat your food and get paid for it. Well, do what you wish. But it's weird. You have that fantasy life in your head, and at the same time, you're here in front of us right now saying how much you want to travel. So which is it? Do you want to travel or don't you? You know what would be refreshing from you, Chantal? Truth. Tell us the truth. Stop lying. If all you want to do is sit around and do the seal position, just say so. Whatever the truth is, live in the truth. Stop lying to people. That's what gets them the most mad.
I think it's because, coming here and being here, living in a different culture, I want to experience a lot of cultures. I want to experience all that life has to offer. So,
yeah, but you're not. And that is the ironic thing of her and Amberlyn Reed. They both started out as small channels, not making much. And you could go back through both the channels and look. The progression was pretty much the same. They started out both really small, not knowing what they wanted to do. They were much more active. They were much more healthy. And the more money they made on YouTube, the less active they became and the more of shut-ins they became. The monetization was horrible for both of them because the more money they made, the more they ate, the more they didn't want to be around people. So isn't that something? Here you are making whatever paychecks, but you're not outliving life. You're not healthy. You're not enjoying life. You're avoiding life. And so your life becomes nothing but the paycheck. And what do I have to do to make the next paycheck and the next one, the next one? You know, it's all about the money. I once saw a meme online that I saved, and it said, some people are so broke, all they have is money. Chantal's an example. She's so broke, all that she has is her money. That's why she works so hard to hang on to it, because there's nothing else. She doesn't have a circle of friends. She doesn't have a social life. She doesn't have hobbies. It's just money motivated. Money to feed her obsessions, her addictions, her boy toy, just to keep everything slightly going. I'm glad for the life that I have, Chantal. I may not have a big paycheck like you, but I have more wealth than you'll ever know, and more opportunity. You traded all of your chances and opportunity and happiness for a paycheck. A paycheck, girl. And a paycheck that's just getting smaller.
But I'm also so basically for the mukbangs, I guess it kind of reminds me of a time when my channel was more simple. Like,
there we go. There's that sense of nostalgia. It reminds me of a time when my channel was more simple. She's going through nostalgia. She's longing for her glory days when she had an audience and she was making good money and she wasn't in Kuwait, where Chantal, in the beginning of her channel, she liked doing her mukbangs because she was in full control and there wasn't any outside pressure to do her mukbangs. I think Salah being there and like pushing on her back to make more money is taking some of the fun out of doing the mukbangs. Like, it's taking some of the thrill out of it. Whereas before, she ate because she wanted to eat. Now she has to eat to make herself happy, to make him happy. It's not fun anymore. That's the way it sounds.
you know, I had fun doing mukbangs in a lot of ways. I had fun telling you guys stories and stuff too. But even with an eating disorder, as a human being, you know.
Ma'am, I will give you sympathy if sympathy were earned and deserved. I really wish you would stop talking about BED and ED because you don't care about those things, and you don't care about the people on YouTube that are suffering with those things that might be affected or triggered by your content. Please stop. You want to do your mukbangs? You want to eat your heart out, literally? Go for it. If you want to just sit down and not talk and do your mukbangs, can anybody really stop you? No. But please stop putting tags on your videos, giving the bat signal to people that have EDs and BED. It's not nice. It's not fair to pull them into your audience when all you're going to do is trigger them and maybe mess around with their possible recovery. Just sit down and do your mukbangs quietly and don't say a word. And don't expect sympathy from the audience for whatever it is that's wrong with you, because you don't care about it. You're not treating it. So why should we care? Just do your thing.
We have to eat food.
Yes, people have to eat, but not everybody has to sit down and make a video while they're eating. You choose to do that because you're looking for the easy paycheck.
And I find whenever I go on diets, whenever I restrict food groups, whenever, I start to have negative feelings about food, and it causes guilt, and it just perpetuates the binge eating cycle. And
And this is why she needs inpatient and therapy. She needs someone that she can talk to when she's having these feelings, because they will help her cope with those thoughts. But she doesn't want to battle against it.
the mukbangs lately, I feel like I get to kind of have more of a routine. I wake up, I take my meds, I have the healthy drink, I eat whatever the heck I want from my mukbang, I eat whatever.
Did y'all just pay attention to that last part? So she wakes up in the morning and she takes her meds. Here is my opinion, not a doctor, can't say for sure what's going on with her, but I feel this has been going on for a while, that her interest in taking the medication for her blood sugar has to do with the fact that she is abusing the medication. She's misusing it. She's taking it because she wants to continue to have B moments and not put herself into a diabetic coma. It's not using the medication correctly to manage the diabetes as a whole. It's about, I'm still trying to find sneaky ways to do my mukbangs and not end up in the hospital. So she just said, I take my medication and then I eat whatever I want for a mukbang. Using the medication so she can continue the bad habits. She's not doing anything else to correct the bad habits, the follow up, the follow through, if you will. That's where she's at. You are a food addict, Chantal, and you're finding ways to continue the addiction versus slowing it down and stopping it.
Whatever I want. And that satisfies a craving in me, as a food addict in a way. And then I, can negotiate.
I got no words. Let's move on. Okay, so Perfectly Imperfect says the queen of modesty and keeping her private life private just farted in her video, which she refused to edit. Let's watch.
That's why I want to do it. It's the type of content that that's why I want to do it. It's the type of content that excuse me. That's why I want to do it.
Okay. So I'm going to say a few things. These are just my thoughts. You guys are free to give your thoughts and your opinions. I always welcome them. So everybody knows that Chantal's doing the feeder corn. 1,000% she's doing it. She's been doing it for years. Here are my thoughts about that. I think Chantal decided to create a niche within a niche by not just doing the feeder corn, of which there is a common variety of it, but she decided to create a separate niche, maybe perhaps in order to get more money for doing the feeder corn. So she decided to take a different angle. Let me put on an abaya, let me put on a hijab and claim to be a Muslim woman. A Muslim woman doing feeder corn is unusual. It's definitely unique. And those people that are into feeder corn, looking around for something different, they might find her and think this is something different, due to the fact that as a Muslim, gluttony is considered haram. So seeing a Muslim woman committing a haram act, it's something unique. So there is the potential that she might be using that angle to get more money out of people. Moving on to this video, where she could have edited this part out. Let's go further. She might be including other fetishes in with her content on purpose. Because believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, there are people out there that their fetish is women passing gas. And there might be a smaller niche or a more unique custom niche of a Muslim woman getting on camera passing gas. You got to know what she does with a purpose. If she's leaving something into a video, is it because she forgot to edit it out, or she purposely kept it there for the sake of the fetish people? I think she's catering to the fetish people. Or maybe it could honestly just be a request from somebody. Hey, can you pass gas on camera? I'll pay you extra. There's that potential. I'm not saying 1,000% that happened, because how do I know? But she's catering to the feeder corn people with the gluttony. She's obviously passed gas on camera, which the pass gas fetish people would love. Even more so if she took a unique angle, which would be her being a Muslim woman. I mean, there's all kind. I got questions. I do have questions. She left this in for a reason. Absolutely did. And I bet it was money. Okay, you guys can see from Hidden Truths, like her latest mukbang, what she ate. It looks like a turd on rice. Hey, I'm not disrespecting the dish. I'm sure it's delicious when it's cooked properly, but it, aesthetically speaking, for a video, it doesn't look very nice. But this is why I'm not reacting to it. There's really no reason. Aw, your mama's here, the blanket. Look at that. Aw, from Yog. And Yog, cat made friends with rhinos. Is there a creature alive that doesn't like cats? Well, maybe mice, but cows, rhinos, like cats are just so chill. And the cat looks like Blackie. Look at her. Cats are so chill. Okay, so I think, are we done here? Hold on a minute. I want to show something. All right, so let's go here. Let's finish this out with this. Hidden Truths, saying, I think it's proof she copies other creators because she's both lazy and unoriginal to create anything herself. She copies Nikocado with that fake crying. She's a YouTube keeping up with the Joneses, as they say. Every time ALR rages, she says the exact same things. So for those who are wondering, does she copy other people? Here's your proof. So Hungry Fat Chick, Candy, did a Wendy's mukbang. And here's Chantal. Within hours of each other. Yep. Copycat. Big time copycat. Okay, so we're done with the ketchup, and that did take a while. It took about an hour. Sorry about it took so long. We had a lot of stuff to go through, but we're going to get on to Chantal's video, and I got it already pulled up. So we're going to get going with that. Okay. Perfect. All right. Chantal. Let's go, y'all.
Hi, guys. So this is a talking video, and there's not going to be any editing because I'm lazy, which means you're going to have to put up with the nose scratches and stuff. Sorry. So I thought I would just do a talking video. I'm not eating in this video because I'm talking a lot.
So basically, she had a B moment.
I'm full from supper still. So
and she can't eat. Her stomach is over full. That's why she's not eating. Got it. Thank you, Chantal.
I just wanted to kind of, I guess, answer in an official video some of your questions about why I'm choosing to do mukbangs.
You don't.
Yada, yada.
The thing is, you're over explaining. You don't have to tell us why you're doing it. We already know, and I think your audience, they know too. You just need content. You need something to talk about, to put into a video, to throw up on YouTube. And if it makes $50 or $100 or whatever, you need the money. We all are aware of that, Chantal. We are not children. We don't need things over explained to us. If you're looking for a way to, say, mentally or emotionally justify doing mukbangs, you're going to do what you do. You're going to get in this video and you're going to justify what you do. But that's not you talking. That's the addiction demon talking. It's on top of your head and it's telling you what to say and it's telling you what to think and it's controlling your every thought. It's in control. It's been in control. It's just getting more of control. I'm not making fun of anybody who's got addiction or addiction itself. So please don't mistake me on that. But there are different phases that you go through with addiction. And one of the final forms for addiction is when you're so wrapped up in it, so incredibly embraced with it, that it consumes your every thought. You're not doing anything. You're not going anywhere. You shove everybody away. Like you're just basically in a little box with yourself and your addiction. It's in your face. It's not going to get out of your face. And it's got a hold of you. And that's where she's at, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I don't want to address this during mukbangs. I just want mukbangs to be enjoying food and having fun and just lighthearted content where I don't have to give anything of myself, like share anything that, you know, I've changed a lot. I know people refuse to believe that and are looking for all kinds of evidence and, you know, just trying to counter that. But I have changed a lot of certain things. Some things remain the same. Some things I'm still working on. But in the, you know, I think it's safe to say after about almost 2 years of being different than what you're used to, a different foodie beauty.
Chantal, I'm a fair person. I'm not a jerk. But I believe honesty is key. Honesty with oneself, honesty with the people you talk to, even online. Honesty is key. When you're honest, you're showing character. You're showing that you can be trusted and that people can trust what you say. Nobody trusts you because you lie. You lie to yourself. You lie to your audience. You gaslight them. All of it. You don't live in truth. You live in whatever version of truth that you picked that day or off of Dr. Google. But you're not honest, okay? But I am fair. And I've been watching you for years. And if you were doing honest, positive change, I would give you praise for that. I would give you credit for that. I would say, good job, Chantal. You're getting yourself together. You're getting on top of your issues and you're working on them. And I know it's going to be hard, but you're doing the doggone thing. But I got to be honest with you and my audience right now. You haven't changed. All you did was put on a different kind of clothing, move to a different country, pretend to be something you weren't for the sake of being near a man, wanting his attention, wanting companionship, because you were longing for the companionship of another man who wasn't giving it to you. And you were basically, in essence, trying to get back at that man and possibly get him back and teach him a lesson. Didn't work. Like you've made one bad choice after the other, and you haven't learned from a single one of them. You went to Kuwait. Maybe you can't get at the gummies, but I'm sure other things have been used in place of the gummies. There are some things that you're going through a period of dry with because you can't get at them. But the one rug of choice that you have, you've been overindulging and it's been wrecking and ruining your body big time. You moved to Kuwait and things started happening that have never happened in Foodieverse, ever. You never used to have trouble finding clothes to wear. You never broke couches before and broke chairs and shower drains. You never had severe problems with your mobility or your breathing. You walk across the room and you're red-faced. There's so many things going on right now that never happened before. And it all happened within a space of 2 years. Okay? 2 years. Just 2 short years. You haven't changed for the better. You changed for the worse. And yet, in your mind, oh, I'm doing better because I'm in Kuwait and I'm not taking gummies. Yeah, but you're still overindulging in food. And you're still looking for the feedy people to keep everything going. To the point where you're deciding to put your foot on the gas pedal and turn it up a notch. Maybe you feel like you're in competition with, say, Hungry Fat Chick for her audience. Maybe you want some of those feedy people on your channel. For the life of me, I don't understand why anyone would be in competition to do content that hurts themselves, but you are. You are in a rush to hurt yourself or put yourself in the hospital. Maybe you're imagining that it's going to be a cakewalk. It's not. It's not going to be the fantasy life you thought it was. Just as the fantasy life that you thought you were going to get going to Kuwait, that didn't happen. You're not full of happiness right now. So maybe the things you're thinking about are not the same as reality. And you should consider reality and all the possibilities of reality versus living in Delulu land.
That this is going towards a newer lifestyle, and life changes are not just one day you're different completely. Okay, it's gradual and it's painful and it's hard, adapting to a new lifestyle. And I've had to grieve a lot of things from my old lifestyle, sure, of course, but it doesn't mean that.
Oh, you mean like the fast food funeral? You've had a few fast food funerals, but yet you would do the fast food funerals and then you'd raise the problem from the dead. I'm having a fast food funeral, no more fast food. Next thing you know, you're doing a mukbang with fast food. So you just can't let that problem stay in the ground where it belongs. Why? Because it's your constant companion. It is your comfort. It is your love. You are married to food, Chantal. You're so married to food, you refuse to cheat on food. You refuse to divorce yourself away from food. You are more faithful to food than the people that have come into your life to be your partners. Life is what you make it. Your life is whatever your priorities are. And since you put your issues and your addictions and your obsessions at the top of the list, your life and the quality of your life and the happiness and the unhappiness of your life reflect that. If you're unhappy with your life, you got to look at what you are making a priority and change your priorities.
It's what was best for me. And that's choices that I have the freedom to make in life. And nobody truly knows completely my life, my circumstances, my everything except for me, my feelings, okay, what's in my heart and in my mind. So what I did say in my post about, not wanting to share intimate details of my life, that's so different for you guys. And I know in a way, and I don't know what else other term to use, but a lot of you are grieving the old foodie beauty. A lot of you miss that person because you keep going over my past and over things that affected me. And even though a lot of them don't affect me anymore, people still go over them as if it's not even affecting me and these things happen to me. It's just weird for me that people keep going over a past me that's not there anymore.
Yeah, but it is there. You were gluttonous in Canada, you're gluttonous in Kuwait. So that part hasn't changed. What people are referring to, Chantal, is when you were in Canada, when you didn't have Salah over your back, telling you what to do, being an aggravation. You are more yourself. Every single time you go back to Canada, we see parts of your old self, not private parts, mind you, but just you're more relaxed with yourself being away from him than being near him. And you were a bit more fun. People miss the fun. You're not having fun. And because you're not having fun, your viewers can't have fun with you. But they want to see you be yourself. Whatever that is, just be yourself. And they want to know that what they see is not because there's somebody around that you're trying to conform to whatever it is you think that they want. You know, it's you. It's not, I got to play this role for this person to get their attention. You're so lacking in an identity that whatever guy you get around, whoever that guy is, whatever he's about, whatever he likes or dislikes, you take on aspects of him in order to have an identity. Every time you get with it, changes. You become a different person. Anybody that doesn't believe me, go back through her history of time. She was a different person around Pete. She was a different person around Bibi. She was a different person around Natter. And she's a different person now around Salah. She doesn't really have her own sense of, this is my identity. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. And I am not going to change who I am. I'm not going to be some fake whatever for the sake of a dude. She's so lacking in identity, she has to attach herself to a man to have one. And that's not how you go through life. You got to be who you are. She doesn't want to do that. She's so dehydrated for love that she's going to just be a mini me or whatever guy she's with. But people want to see the real you. Your personality, Chantal. They want you to be at home with yourself, comfortable in your own skin. You being in Kuwait, pretending to be a Muslim woman, and I'm so modest, that is so not you. And that I call it a costume. I'm not making fun of anybody who's Muslim, anybody who wears an abaya or a hijab. Please don't take it that way. For other people who are Muslim that are wearing the abaya and the hijab, I respect that. For Chantal, we're just talking about Chantal right now. The way she's wearing it, the reason why she's wearing it, for her, it is a costume. And it's one that doesn't fit her very well. It's very uncomfortable for her because it goes against who she really is. Putting on an abaya, putting on a hijab does not mean automatically, like mentally, emotionally, you shift to being a more respectful, mannerly, modest person. That's not who she is. That'll never be who she is. She's far too feral. But she tries to pretend that she can be that way for the sake of Salah. Not working. The more you try to move away from who you really are, the more uncomfortable you're going to make yourself. The more irritated you're going to be. That's why every time she goes back to Canada and she's able to indulge or just be by herself, she's much more relaxed. People miss her being herself. That's what they miss.
And won't come back. I think people expect in a few months that I'm going to go back to Canada.
Oh, girl, if you had any kind of sense, you would go back. If you were smart, you would go back before the heat in the kitchen gets too much and everything explodes. If you got more than 2 brain cells in your head, you would look at Salah and go, listen, bro, we tried this for 2 years. It's not working for you, for me, for my finances, for my channel. I've got to go back. I don't care if I eat crap from Girl World for the next 6 months. I have got to rebuild, and I can't do it here with you. People don't like you. They don't like this. I've got to go. I'm going to go stay in a motel for 6 months. I'm going to get my finances together. I'm going to be myself. This is what's got to happen. You would get out of Kuwait before they kicked you out. I don't know what you're thinking, Chantal, that you're going to visa hop, border hop, and then hop back. You're going to spend all kinds of money to go somewhere and then try to get back. Think about this, that you go somewhere thinking you could hop back on over to Kuwait. So there's money spent on whatever trip. And then you try to get back and they say, nope, that's money lost, versus being smart and keeping that money in pocket and going home. You know you got a home. You know you're welcome in Canada. You're running from the tax man. But if you went back, you could fix your tax situation for sure. You could do more. You probably wouldn't get in trouble. You're not thinking sensibly. But do what you want. You want to get stuck in another country with no way to get home because your finances are low? Have at it. You'll have a total meltdown. It'll be content for all of the reaction channels. Do what you will.
Going to go back to that old way. I'm going to rip off the hijab and it's just going to be, let's get a wheelchair kind of thing. Now, I've been to Canada 2 or 3 times of lifestyle. It's so drastic, and it's taken me time through this tug of war to feel like, okay.
Shut up. Oh my God, the lies being told right now. Chantal, every time you go home to Canada, you indulge in the green. You like your green. You've said so. You've shown us a bag with all the green products. Look where I went today. And then when you went to Thailand, girl, you were on Google Maps looking for every green dispensary shop in the place. As a matter of fact, I remember the one video you did where you went to go get poutine. What was next door? The green shop. The green shop. And you and Salah both did streams together in Thailand. You were both all kinds of giggly and something was going on. Obviously, you guys had smoked a little bit. Yeah. So any chance you get to indulge in the green, you do. So don't talk to us about I've changed. Just be yourself, okay? Just admit to who you are and what you do. You want to shock girl world? Tell the truth. 8 years, nothing but lies. Lies. Shock us. Tell the truth. Not your version of the truth. That'd be something new. That'd really be something new. Chantal telling the truth. Oh my God, what? That would be shocking. Stop BSing us. We're not stupid. There are too many eyes on you. Too many people noticing details. We're not children. We can read the book. We can read through the lines, girl. You may be immature and childish in your thinking. We're not. You're not recovered from anything. You are not on top of anything. You're not getting a hold of your issues. So just admit to it. It's okay. It's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to have flaws. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make a bad decision. It's all right. I'm 53 years old, Chantal. I have made bad choices. I've made mistakes. I've learned from them. I suffered the consequences for my bad choices, but I learned. But I don't put myself on a pedestal and insist that everything I do is perfect. It's not. Okay? Sometimes I feel like a bumbling idiot. Like, why did I do that? But we all go through that. Like, I did it, and the moment I did it, I knew it was wrong. I did it anyway. Doggone it. I'll learn for next time. It's part of being a human. Making mistakes and learning.
Do I want to go back to that lifestyle? So I thought, going back to Canada, I missed certain things.
And what are the certain things? What does she indulge in every single flipping time she goes back? The food, the green, maybe other stuff at the outhouse. That's what she misses because that's all she does.
But then it never happened. I never took the hijab off. I never reverted back to my old lifestyle.
And that makes it even worse. Can I just say that? If you're going to indulge in those kinds of products, should you be wearing a hijab and an abaya when you do it? I mean, have some respect, Chantal. Should you be indulging in the green and smoking a cigarette and the green? Should you be doing that, girl? No, no, not really. Disrespectful.
Totally, like, but I I end up coming back here, and there's a lot of reasons, and I don't feel like I need to justify that to anybody, and I'm not even going to try.
We know why you went back to Kuwait. You went back to Kuwait for a couple of reasons. One, because you're still running from the tax man, and that will always be a problem until you fix it. You start paying the money, they'll leave you alone, and you won't have to be afraid of them anymore. And the second reason is because you're a bit cuckoo, okay? You see a guy, you lock onto the guy, you put him in your crosshairs, and if you give him even just a little bit of money, you feel that you own that man for life. I spent X amount of dollars on you. I created a channel for you. I gave you an audience. Therefore, you belong to me. You had that same mindset with Natter. How did that work out for you? Did you get Natter? No. So you didn't learn your lesson with Natter. Hence the reason why you're repeating the lesson with Salah. You just got to get it through your head that you can spend money on somebody. But just because you do doesn't mean you own them. They got a right to do what they want and be with whoever they want. You cannot own a person. You cannot make someone into your slave. You can't. They don't belong to you. They are not your property. But you have that mentality of they belong to me, but they don't. They don't. You should really stop with that. You feel that once you spend money and time on a guy, he belongs to you, and you always want to maintain control over your property. So you kept going back and forth to Kuwait to maintain control, afraid of him getting away from you. Well, here's something to be known, Chantal. Being jealous and insecure and a burden in every way, that will drive a man away from you in more than one respect. A man could be sitting right next to you on the couch and be 1,000 miles away from you. If he is not emotionally, mentally, spiritually plugged into you, if there's no true connection, he might as well be 1,000 miles away. He's checked out. Mentally, he's walked out the door and he ain't coming back. And that's what happens with you and Salah. He has checked out. The Love Hotel, he's gone. He's not even in the room with you. You're there all by yourself. He doesn't want to plug into you. Yet you insist on trying to plug into him. And that outlet is blocked. You are not the one for him. He knows it. You know that's how he feels. So you comfort eat to cover that up. The fact that you're an idiot and you went all in with him. You're trying to cover up how stupid you are, what a stupid decision it is. And you don't want to admit to Girl War that we were right. We were absolutely right. We warned you. See, you hate Girl World. But did we not warn you about this thing? Did we not say, hey, it's a dumb idea to go to Kuwait, Chantal? This is stupid. It makes no sense. He's proposing to you after 2 days. What are you thinking? Did we not warn you? The same way that we warned you about Natter. We did. And yet we're haters, right? We're haters. We're such haters that we tried to warn you. You don't want to listen. You have no voice of reason in your head. There are voices of reason around you. Yeah, they may say things that hurt your feelings. Maybe those things are a little harsh and blunt, but they're truthful. But you never listened. And there you are because you didn't listen. You can't own a person, Chantal. You've got a predatory mind. You've got predatory ways. You think you can own people, but you can't. You can't even own yourself. You can't even control yourself. What makes you think you can control another person? You really, really can't.
I'm not going to explain why I prefer to be here. I mean, I think I have many times. I don't think that people listen. So it's like for me, if I'm going to just be talking to a brick wall, I'm not going to bother. There's just so many people online that are so determined to misunderstand what I say and take a different meaning of it. And I just, you know what, I'm just going to let people do that. And I'm just going to keep quiet and know what my life is like. Like, you know what I mean? So there's things I agree with life, but again, it doesn't mean that.
Sometimes things that people say and the way they say them, the words they use, point towards their way of thinking. Notice the word she used just right there. That one word, grieve. When you grieve something, that is a word you use to describe great loss. Oh, I'm grieving the loss of a relative, or I'm grieving the loss of a job that I really loved. What in Canada could Chantal possibly grieve? She could be talking about her grandmother, and you would think so because that was her relative, but I don't think she means that. She really does not put any kind of value on her family or the relations of her family. So it can't be that. So let's take it off the list. I think honestly, what this is about is she's so miserable in Kuwait. She's thinking about her past. Oh, I used to live in Canada and I had a successful channel and I was making money with Natter and spending time with Natter and partying my butt off. And it was just crazy. I think that's what she's grieving. The fact that lightning doesn't strike twice. Like that was before and this is now. So she's grieving that her past that she cannot go back to. I think that's what she means.
That's for me. And um, I'm still working on issues. Sure, I have a lot to work on, but that's not going to matter geographically for me. Like wherever I go, there I am. That's true. And yeah, it's not going to be.
You're still that person. What are you talking about? You were gluttonous and toxic and negative in Canada. You've been toxic and gluttonous and negative in Kuwait. Location doesn't matter. You're still the same person underneath the hijab and the abaya. That person has not changed. Clothing is not going to make it change.
With that person, it's done. And I'm not going to be going back to that. So I know a lot of people think this newer version of me is boring, what you're used to. My audience was mostly people who were, there to watch me be completely silly, totally TMI, things that I would never want to talk about openly now, and things I would never in a million years do. And in a way, I'm grieving.
You know what, though, Chantal? I think you miss being that person. Listen, come on, girl. You miss being that person. Oh, you miss it. Come on now. You enjoyed every single flippin' second of it. You like doing the silly, gross, vulgar things. You love to burp and fart on camera and run around half naked. You loved it. Loved it. Loved it. You were always happy to find some new way to shock the audience, to give the reaction channel something to talk about. You loved it. To the point where you're always thinking of other things to do. You were unpredictable. That's why people tune in. They're like, what is she going to do today? I don't even know. I think I'll watch. Now you've drifted to a place where everything is so same. It's Groundhog Day every day. Same room, same fast food, same monotone voice, talking about the childhood, blah, blah, blah. It's boring. I don't think that you would sit down and watch your content for several hours, Chantal. Within an hour, you would get bored of yourself. Honestly.
I'm having trouble, like, accepting that I've exposed in a way.
Listen, you chose to raise the bar on yourself. You did that. You did that in an effort to keep people watching you. You want to take the crown from Amber, and that's how you did it. You snatched the crown off her head and said, "You're not getting this back for a while. I'm going to take it. I'm going to run with it. I'm going to be the most dramatic, insane person on YouTube." And you did. You got the crown. But here's the thing. The crown is almost ready to fall off your head. And anybody that comes along that's even halfway interesting, they're going to get the crown. And Girl World will get behind them. Everybody's ready to move on from you and Amber because both of you are just, it's just, everything is just getting so old and stale. We're all looking around for new people, interesting faces, interesting voices, interesting situations. And a lot of reactors are finding them and bringing them in. But if there's even somebody that's even a molecule of interesting, yeah, we're going to look. And as much as you say we're haters, Chantal, you cannot deny the power of Girl World. You cannot deny it. There is a power in this community. And I've seen it being used over and over again. And if you're wondering, what is the power? And this has happened more than once. If there is somebody who is interesting, intelligent, well-spoken, they're just interesting to watch. Once the reaction channels get wind of them and start taking notice and reacting to them and encouraging their subscribers to check them out and subscribe to them, I have seen tiny channels grow by a lot, literally overnight. Because one of the hardest things to do on YouTube is to make a channel and get eyes on you. But to have X amount of reaction channels propping that person up and letting people know about them and their subscribers, that's powerful. That is powerful. Like your Bunny Foo Foo Sparkles on YouTube, and you got a tiny channel like 50 people, and then suddenly the reaction channels find out about you, and the next thing you know, you've got 3,000 subscribers in a week, and you're like, holy moly macaroni and cheese, how did that happen? Power of exposure. That's how your channel grew. That's why your channel grew to the size that it was, not because you have interesting content, because you had reaction channels that covered you and it got your name out there a little bit. You're welcome, bitch. So instead of being resentful to us, be thankful and say thank you. Because guess what? If you become too boring, we can go to somebody else or a bunch of people and prop them up, get eyes on them. And then you will be all by yourself in that lonely little corner with the crickets singing at you and wondering, where'd they all go? Why aren't they covering me anymore? Hey, we want to entertain our audience. If you're not entertaining, why should we cover you? The people want to be entertained. Give the people what they want. You get too boring? Why sit down and spend an hour, 2 hours doing a reaction? It makes no sense. It's time wasted if it's boring. I'm just saying.
You know, I'm trying to just realize that that's the past and it's done and there's nothing I can do about it, right? But there's a lot I wish I didn't share with people or that I didn't do.
Too late. And this is the part right here in this video where I feel like it's a preemptive strike. It's an offensive move of, I know that Mr. Snowflake is coming out with an episode and I'm going to rush ahead of everybody and tell my beezers, don't go over there. Don't pay attention. It was my past. That was stuff I did before. It's not stuff like I'm doing now. She's doing a preemptive strike, trying to get ahead of Mr. Snowflake. A lot of her stuff on her channel is gone. It is privated. It is deleted. It's stuff the newbies don't know about, and she's not going to tell them about. But with these episodes coming out, people are going to find out because there are tons of archive channels and clip channels that have this stuff, that are sending stuff to Mr. Snowflake so that he can do the docuseries. And I think that's great. But it's stuff that she does not want revealed. She doesn't want someone to put all of her chaotic, crazy behavior into a storyboard so that other people can understand and follow along. She just wants to make up the narrative as she goes.
So, but there's a lot of things I don't regret either. So anyway, all this backstory to basically say that, you know, I meant what I said in my post. I know I'm not the queen of consistency, and you guys expect me to change my mind and still expect me to go back and live in Canada and be different. But after a year and a half or more, almost 2 years, I think it's safe to say that a lot of chapters from that era
Chantal,
are just
you are
done.
a tourist in Kuwait. You will remain a tourist in Kuwait. You will never be a resident. They will never accept you as a resident. You are just a tourist. And at some point, they're going to deny you being a tourist. Essentially, you're using Kuwait to squat because you don't want to go back to Canada and deal with your financial responsibilities. But you got to know at some point that is going to end.
With it's gone. I don't have the want to go back to a lot of that a lot of things I'm glad are done, and I want to evolve in life and goals. I want to travel so bad. Like, it's a yearning inside me that
I don't want to hear it. I want to travel. What have you done to help yourself travel? Are you cutting back on the mukbangs? Nope. Actually, you're saying in this video, I'm going to do nothing but mukbangs. So how is that going to help you travel? That's just going to make it more difficult. You're not making sense.
that you don't understand. I think because, you know, coming here and being here, living in a different culture, I want to experience a lot of cultures. I want to experience all that life has to offer. So, but I also basically for the mukbangs, I guess it kind of reminds me of when my channel was more simple.
Again.
Like,
oh, I remember the good old days. Well, you know what, Chantal? If you miss the good old days, take note of what was in the good old days. You were in Canada by yourself doing your content. Hello? You were not in another country with a bunch of restrictions where you didn't have the Kia. You were by yourself doing your content. So if you're really missing the good old days, remember the things that were there to make that happen.
you know, I had fun doing mukbangs in a lot of ways. I had fun telling you guys stories and stuff too. But even disorder as a human being,
I'm trying to control my mouth. The profanity filter, I want to take it off so bad. Doggone it, YouTube. Why can't you let me use adult language? You can still sell your products. Doggone it. Deep breath. I don't like her talking about the ED thing because of the way she handles it and how disrespectful she is about it. I sympathize with anyone who's going through issues of being consumed by something, addicted to something, obsessed with something. It is horrible to be on that roller coaster. But I do not like this beast monetizing those things and being disrespectful about it. And that is where I get the most angry. That's where I get mad. And before you say anything to me, Chantal, and this is not me dumping on anybody. It's just, I'm going to give you guys a very small, brief, tiny window of personal insight to me. As far as addiction is concerned, I've experienced both sides of that coin. I had an issue with food that took me 6 years to deal with. I've dealt with it. It's not an obsession anymore because I learned coping skills and coping mechanisms, and things are much more normal now, and I'm so happy that I finally got on the other side of it. But the other side of that coin, Chantal, is I had somebody very close to me who died from party favors. My sister. I lost my little sister. So I have that point of view and that perspective too. So not only have I been an addict to food, but I've lost somebody to a different kind of addiction. And those who are addicts, we feel our own pain and our own suffering. We're going through our hell, but we can only feel what we feel. We can only see through our own eyes. We can't see through the eyes of other people around us. And we don't understand at the time or comprehend that the people that are around us, while we're going through our addiction, they're hurting too. They feel helpless. They feel hopeless, like they want to help, but they can't do anything. They're just standing by and watching. They offer advice, but they can't force us to change. But they're going through that hell with us, just in a different way. And that's something that you're not understanding. That with you being an extreme addict, like whatever's going on with you is going on with you. But you got to understand that anybody who's a friend or a family member, they're looking at you and they're feeling a certain kind of way because they're like, there's nothing I can do here. I can't help her. I can't make her change. I see what path she's on and I can't stop her. So I've got both sides of the coin, Chantal. You're going full steam ahead with your addiction. But understand that you're not the only one suffering. You're not the only one frustrated. You're not the only one stressed out. There are other people connected to your circle, and they're suffering too.
We have to eat food. And I find whenever I go on diets, whenever I restrict food groups.
This is her justifying eating what she wants to eat. And again, she doesn't have to do this. She's trying to say, well, if I try to restrict myself and if I try to do this, it's going to lead to this. That's why you need different coping skills and coping mechanisms. Stop finding the excuses and find the reasons to stop, Chantal. Find the ways.
Have negative feelings about food, and it causes guilt, and it just perpetuates the.
You know what? You should have negative feelings about food. You really should. Instead of looking at food as the all positive, look at certain foods as the all negative, because that's what's going on. What you should be doing is looking at that fast food and saying, this is garbage. It may taste good, but it's still garbage. There's no vitamins, no minerals. There's nothing for my body to feed on. It's making me sick. Why the F am I doing this? You should approach fast food with a sense of hostility. The way you do Girl World. If you had even half the hostility for fast food that you do for Girl World, girl, you'd be healthy in less than a year. Or at least healthier. That same hatred you put on Girl World, they're haters. Put that towards the fast food. Just look at it with a sense of aggression. Like, what am I doing? Why am I eating this? This is garbage. This is nonsense. I'm wasting my money. Do it like that. If that's what it takes, do it. But you look at it as comfort, as a teddy bear. It's a teddy bear full of battery acid. The more you hold on to it, the more it leaks the battery acid, the more it hurts you. Understand? You're welcome.
The binge eating cycle. And with the mukbangs lately, I feel like I get to kind of have more of a routine. I wake up, I take my meds, I have the healthy drink, I eat whatever the heck I want.
So you're abusing your meds. You're just basically confessing, I'm abusing my meds. I take my meds not for my diabetes, but so I can do the mukbangs and I don't end up in the hospital.
From my mukbang, I eat whatever I want.
I eat whatever I want. When you're diabetic and you've got tons of health problems, you can't eat whatever you want. You can't. She's just finding ways and reasons to do so because she doesn't like to hear the word no.
And that satisfies a craving in me.
You crave everything, though. It's not like I crave some pickles today, and then 4 or 5 days later, I'm craving some French fries. Cravings happen every once in a while for no reason. She craves everything. She craves food.
As a food addict in a way. And then I, can negotiate
And
with myself.
by the way, while we're here, can I just say this? Chantal likes to put out the attitude of, I've got this thing that's wrong with me. I'm a food addict. I can't fix myself. I can't make it better. Can I say, as someone that I've dealt with food addiction, she's lying when she says that. People that have EDs or BED, a lot of them get on the other side of things. So look, we make our own prophecies. If you say I can't do something, then you can't just because you said so. But if you say I can do something, I'm going to find a way, you'll make it happen. Whatever you put in your mind is what you will make true, whether it's good, bad, ugly, in between, silly, goofy, who knows. You get what I'm saying? You are the master of your own life and your own destiny. And she's got this defeatist, I can't, I won't attitude, and it's translating to all of her life. But I don't want to hear from her, oh, I can't do it. You guys don't understand. I'm a food addict. I don't have control. Well, that's why you get control. You can get control. It's really weird to me. This control freak, they can't control herself and make excuses why she can't control herself. You would think a hardcore narcissist would be controlling themselves more than any other thing, but she doesn't.
I'm going to have this healthy later, blah, 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 blah. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, you're fooling. It's a slippery slope, yada, yada, yada. It always doesn't work either for me. You know what I mean? And in a way, it's worse. So, but these are what I'm doing right now. I don't want to do any more on my channel. I don't want to justify as a larger person with health problems. I don't want to justify to people, strangers, why I'm eating, especially to a community of people who are also overweight, obese, and don't ever.
Are we going to have this discussion again? I think we are. But I'm not going to yell and scream because I know that's what she wants. Chantal, let me address that in a few parts. Part one, ma'am, you like to yell and scream about fat phobia and fat shaming. You are super morbidly obese. So if you take offense to things that relate to fat shaming and fat phobia, I would think it's very incorrect for you to go after people and use weight as an insult. That's part one. Part two, I've seen many of the reactors that react to you. They are not your size, not even close. All right? They just aren't. Part three, when you are a reactor, you don't have to be a certain size or a certain number of pounds in order to react. Indeed, when it comes to you, there is no correct size. If somebody is of a smaller size than you, then you will say, oh, they're a skinny and they don't get it. If they're a little bit on the fluffy side, oh, look at them, they're fat too. There's no winning with you. There's no correct person and correct weight that you go, okay, they can react to me. They're of a certain size. You understand what I'm saying? Like you've got really weird, wavy perimeters about who a reactor can be and how much they can weigh and what age they should be. You got all these qualifications when all that person has to do is put on your video, turn on their camera or not to show themselves, and just give their opinion. You don't have to be at a certain size or height or weight to be a reactor. Just as you, being someone that you're on YouTube, there's no qualifications to be a mukbanger.
Show themselves, but have a lot to say about what I'm eating, about my weight, yada yada. It's a huge community of people who do that, and I don't want to justify my choices, just because I'm a fat person online eating something that's not a salad. I don't want to do it.
Chantal, I've seen Hungry Fat Chick Candy. Do you notice that her channel is twice the size of yours? It is. And she didn't have to buy subscribers. It just happened. Her channel is twice the size of yours because should she be doing the unhealthy eating? No. But Candy is a nice person. She's a sweetheart. And I got to be honest with y'all. When I watch Candy, the videos that I've seen, the ones that I've reacted to, I actually felt bad for Candy. I wanted to give her a hug. I think she needs a hug sometimes. Like she needs someone to talk to, someone that understands. And I would talk to Candy. Not saying I'm going to reach out to her, but she seems like a person you could have a conversation with. And she's not detestable and negative and evil like this one. There's a reason why, Girl World, we don't talk about Candy in a negative way. We hardly talk about her at all. She comes on her channel. She puts everything up front. Her channel name is Hungry Fat Chick. Okay, a Hungry Fat Chick. And she eats her food. She doesn't bring the drama. She's very unproblematic. Girl World, we're like, okay, you're being truthful. We got no problem with that. So it's not the weight that we're talking about. We're not here to poke fun at somebody's weight. It's the personality, the problematic personality, which is why we react to Chantal, her negativity. But you want to imitate Candy so bad, Chantal. Yet you keep bringing the problems in the attitude. You covet too much. You covet other people's money. You covet other people's subscribers and their super chats and their comments and everything. And instead of getting motivated to make your channel better, you just want to coast along on the seat of your pants. Well, go for it. Because you don't have much seat left.
What I do off camera with my life is totally up to me. It's my choices. You don't have to watch it. Eating videos are not for everybody at all. And so that's fine as well. There is an audience for it, obviously.
And those are the ones you're catering to. You're basically saying without saying, hey, Beezers, those of you that don't have the food fetish, those of you that are not going to send me the super chats and the request on Instagram and pay me through PayPal, get lost. Because I'm not really here for you. I'm not here to talk to you. I don't care about you. I care about those fetish guys that'll pay me money. So if you're not about that life, get to step in because I don't care. She's zoning in on those feedy people. That's basically what's being said here.
And no, not just feeders, because do you know how many mukbang channels there are?
Yeah, but you specifically cater to the feedy people. Chantal, listen, I've been around a while. Don't mess with me. I know too much about your history. Do I have to bring it up? I think I will. You were caught on a feedy site with a profile looking for those people. When the Kiwi farmers found out and put it on the forums, you found out and then you got rid of that profile. You also had one of your feedy guys come into your room and say, "Oh, I enjoyed the talk last night." Then there was the woman who came online and said that her boyfriend, who is a feedy guy, was paying you and Hungry Fat Chick for content. And let's not forget about the Lakama Fairy and the guys who bought you clothes that didn't fit, the guys who bought you meals. Do I have to keep going? How about that person who bought you paneer for over a month? How about that? What about that other guy at the very beginning of your channel that he had a particular quirk with his fetish where he didn't want to hear the sound of a metal spoon and a metal fork on a plate, so he had you buy a wooden fork and a wooden spoon and you use that for him? I mean, I could stay here all day naming things like that. I really could. You cater to those people hardcore.
And if you go through those people's comments, there's not one sexual comment about feederism or whatever.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. An ordinary comment could be encouragement. Like a comment like, "Hey, Chantal, can you eat this, this, and this?" That could be from a feedie. They want to see you eat. They're not going to say, "Oh, that turns me on so much and it makes me so horny." No, it's not going to be like that. It's just going to encourage you to eat and pay you for it.
Dumb people are saying about it. Just because it's a bigger person eating, it has to be a feeder. No, it's not. All right. People watch mukbangs for different reasons.
She's so bothered. She's so bothered about people catching on to her game and knowing her game. She's so bothered that she thought she was being slick and she could hide it, and she can't hide it anymore. Everybody's caught on to this. The fact we know who she's catering to, and she knows it too. She don't want to admit to it though.
You know, it just makes you hungry. It's pleasurable to see the good food, especially if you can't eat it or if you are eating. It's like a social thing, you know, like people know what they are. I've talked about this many times, but
look, it's your bread and butter. It's how you make money. There's nothing else on your channel that gets the views like when you do the feeder corn, and you know it and we know it too.
It's content that's fun. There's no drama. I think drama is worse for my health than a cheeseburger at this point.
Well, you know what? You don't have to take medication
how
for a cheeseburger. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. You don't have to take medication for drama. You got to take medication so you can eat that cheeseburger and not get in the hospital.
How much that can affect your health. You know, people really don't realize that. And I don't want to have a dark
Too
energy.
late. You already got it. Chantal, you've had dark energy for years. And it's only getting worse. It really is. You don't want positive energy. That's like holy water to you. You see positive energy coming at you and you're like, you want nothing to do with it. People try to encourage you and they give you words of advice and you should do this, Chantal. You want nothing to do with it. You like that negative energy, girl.
Online with that kind of drama and hatred and disliking and just total negative vibes. Like, I just don't want it in my life. Okay. So
you are the negative vibes. You're so negative. Every living thing that has come in contact with you has been negatively affected, whether it's a person or a pet. Show me one person around you that after being around you, they were radiating happiness. Every person that gets around you ends up looking the same. Pete, BB, Natter, Salah, they all have that checked out, dead look in the eyes, like that 1,000-yard stare. Your pets, they look sad. They look so sad, like, somebody please help me. I'm not doing well. Somebody please come rescue me. They all look like that, like they're in absolute misery, and they're all connected to you.
So mukbangs, I built my channel on mukbangs at first, anyways, and I always ate to some degree on camera, and I enjoy doing them. So that's that. Um, that's why I want to do it. It's the type of content that.
And she just farted right there, and she kept that in. And for those who want to know, need to know, when you're a YouTube content creator, you have a thing called YouTube Studio that you can take out a section of a video, you can clip it, or you can do a blur tool. There's a few things that YouTube itself gives to you for free. She could have cut that out. She let that in for a reason.
Excuse me, doesn't involve me sharing my life, because I don't want to do that anymore. I want complete privacy. At first, when I was doing mukbangs in the past, I loved being an open. I loved sharing everything, and now my feelings about that. So where was I? Oh yeah, mukbangs.
That was weird. Why was there a jump
So that's
cut?
why I do them. That's what I want to do. I want to do food content. Of course, when I travel, I'm going to travel.
Like, this is not an airport, Chantal. You don't have to announce your departure nor your change in flight. If you wanted just to sit down and do mukbangs and not talk, you could have done that without an entire freaking video. Or you could have put out a community post and did the videos and just bypass all this nonsense.
We'll do travel vlogs, like regarding the food in the different countries. And on our couples channel, we're going to do travel vlogs.
You ain't traveling nowhere except to go home. And if you're not, that's where you should be going. Because every time you go somewhere, there's a problem. Remember Thailand? How long it took you to get back in Kuwait? Did that not give you a clue that it's time to go and to stay away? Because they're getting about ready to kick you out. 7 days, Chantal. A week. You got a week to figure this out. They said if you leave by the 14th or the 17th, no penalty. Take Kuwait up on their offer and leave before there's an issue, or not, or stay there and end up maybe going to jail or getting in legal trouble. Be smart for a change, or not, and we'll see what happens.
And what else? Go out sometimes around here, show you different food places and stuff like that. And in between that, just mukbangs at home. That's basically just what I want to do right now. I don't want to hear and explain why I'm eating a cheeseburger. I don't want to hear and explain my weight or whatever the heck. And be like, I gained half a kilo this week, guys. No, I don't want it. And I don't want to, also go balls to the wall and super strict on a diet. And no, I don't want to do it. And just, I don't enjoy doing that content whatsoever. I don't enjoy it. So, yeah, judge me.
It's not that she didn't enjoy the content. She likes getting attention any way she can get the attention. It's like I said, it's just that those subjects are not as profitable as just straight up sitting down and stuffing her face.
All you want for that, but for me, there's just no way. There's just no way. I don't enjoy it. It depresses me even more. It makes me feel like weight and getting healthy is like a punishment. It feels like punishment to do that. So, yeah. I mean, look at it this way. I want to just go back to learn how to be like a normal person. Like,
good luck with that. Ooh, the work that you would have to do for that.
Look at someone like Salah. They don't have to count calories. They don't have to worry about, they just listen to their normal hunger cues, I guess. I don't know.
You know what? To achieve even a sliver of that goal, you need impatience, Chantal. You are an out of control person in control of money, and the addiction has control of you. So, how can you accomplish that goal if you don't let go of some of that control?
But I know for someone like me, it's different. I have to reset and get there, whatever. But anyway, I don't even know why I'm going down that road. But it makes it feel like a chore, a punishment. I don't want to do that. So that's just, I've changed my mind. Um, yeah, I just don't want to do it. So, I don't care if you judge me for that, for my life choices, whatever.
I'm going to say something, and it's going to sound kind of mean. This is just me talking, my opinion. Everybody can have their opinions and their thoughts. She's incredibly stubborn and incredibly defiant. And some people, when they get older, they're still open to learning and growing as people. Not being a hater, just giving my thoughts. I think that Chantal, she's old and set in her ways, and she has set her mind to where she's not going to be taught. She's not going to learn. She's not going to listen. Like, she's got a wall about 1,000 feet high and 1,000 feet thick all around her brain, and she's going to lock out anything that is not her. She refused. She said herself, "I don't want to change. I hate change. Change is scary." Like, she is dead set against being open and learning. And as long as she's unwilling to learn, she's going to be forever like this until she can't.
It is what it is. That's just how I'm happier, just not doing that, not dieting or whatever. So yeah.
Well, I will say that diets don't work for people like Chantal. I've said that before. Those of you on my channel that you've been here for a while, you've heard me say that. When it comes to a person who has a severe food issue, an ED, BED, food addiction, diets don't work. They're not appropriate. Diets are things that you do when you want to lose about, say, 20 pounds, when it's about the pounds. But if you've got emotional, mental, psychological issues wrapped around food real tight, you got to treat where the problem is. And food portions and putting stuff on a plate is not going to fix that. Diets don't work. Diets do not fix severe mental, emotional food issues. You got to address the brain, and she doesn't want to do that. For someone like Chantal, you need a complete lifestyle change. You got to change the body. True. You got to get the body in better shape. Very true. But at the same time that's going on, you got to fix the head. You can't leave that out. That's like having weeds in your yard and you don't pull out those weeds. You just mow over them. Eventually, those weeds grow back because you didn't pull them out by the roots before you mowed. And so it is with Chantal. She's got that addiction weed in her head, and it's growing and it's growing and it's filling her up, and she doesn't want to kill it off. She likes it being there. I know it sounds weird to say that. It's wild, but that's the truth. It's like a companion to her. It's part of her comfort circle, having that addiction there. That's her reason to live. It's like an old friend. And if she gets rid of her one old friend, there's going to be an empty space where that old friend was, and she's not going to know what to fill it with. Do y'all see where I'm coming from? That's just me thinking over here out loud.
That's why I'm doing it. And that's all I guess I have to say about it. So I don't think that I'll ever want to go back to opening up about my life because I don't enjoy it anymore. Like something has shifted inside me where I don't want to go back to.
And another reason why she's not opening up is because when she opens up, when she invites people to get that close to her, and then she goes against the things that she says, when she treats YouTube like some unpaid therapy session, and the people in her chat is unpaid therapists, and they try to hold her accountable, she doesn't want to be held accountable. She opens the door looking for sympathy, looking for money. But when you open the door, you're inviting public feeling and opinion off the public, since what you're doing is not any private session where it should be with a trained professional. You're trying to use your audience as therapy and your dumping ground, which you should not be doing, Chantal, because this is not your diary, okay? This is not Dear Diary, this happened today, that happened today, and it's just you looking at it. You're wanting everybody else to look at the entries in your diary. And it's not right to dump that on people. So if you decide you don't want to talk about your health issues, great. It's not fair to make everybody else care when you don't.
To Canada, rip off the hijab like people think I'm going to do. People still think they're giving me time. In like a few months, she's going to be back in Canada.
Well, what happened before? You were in Canada, you found out about Salah and Kai Bella, and you were ready to take that hijab off. You're like, why do I still have this on? I mean, you were ready to let it go instantly. So that told us everything we needed to know about how much your faith meant to you. You were doing it for a man, and if that man were no longer in the picture, you were not interested.
Back to wheelchairs, back to shaving her head, back to being a mess. It's not going to happen. It's not. That's over. That time is over. That, like, it's just done. And Canada, and I'm
We were. And I think that has a large part to do with why you won't go back to Canada. You're running from the tax man, and you don't have enough money to set yourself up in a one bedroom. The money it would take to set yourself up in a one bedroom, given your bankruptcies on your record and your bad credit, you would have to pay twice as much to get into the place to make your landlord comforted to know that you'll pay the rent. And you don't have that kind of money anymore, Chantal. You really don't.
Beauty. If you don't enjoy this new me, then you know what to do. Like, I'm not going to be changing for anybody. Like, this is my life. This is who I am now. Come here, me. That's up to you. But
so you hear that, Beezers? She's sending out the bat signal. She's saying, I'm just going to get on camera, and I'm going to do content where I'm essentially slowly unaliving myself with food. I'm already unhealthy. I'm going to make the situation worse. My health is going to be on the slow decline. If you want to watch, you can watch me become more sick. If you don't, you need to leave now. That's what she's saying. She's saying, I'm going to continue to make myself sick. So don't hope for me exercising or eating healthy, because I'm not going to do it. Take the signal. Unless you want to sit there and watch Chantal become more sick, because that's what's essentially happening.
I'm not my past either.
Yeah, you are.
The past doesn't affect me anymore. Why? It's still, people are still obsessed with it. I don't know. Get over next step, that's gone. I'm over it. It's
You're
weird
not
that
over it. You just hate the fact that it just won't disappear, so you can make up whatever narrative you want and get away with it. You are so bothered by Mr. Snowflake's episodes. Oh, you're bothered. And isn't it interesting, y'all, that Mr. Snowflake has put out like the last episode with her and Natter, not a peep. Not a peep at all. Had nothing to say. Because there was no lies detected in the doggone thing. Like, he did a really good job.
other people are still not. Like from years ago. So yeah. Um so that's it. Mukbangs are valuable entertainment for people who enjoy them. There's a lot. I enjoy that. I didn't really used to love them, but I always did watch them. But now I start to love them because it's just like, it's it's just drama free, and I don't know. I just love it, honestly.
Lies. Lies all over. She loves to get mad. She loves to be angry. Don't let her fool you.
But I don't like doing certain things. Like for me, I love food. Like despite even this is a huge important point. Despite being a food addict, despite having, I think to a degree we're all addicted to some kind of food, especially if
No, don't do that. Don't try to act like I'm part of a group when you're not. Not everybody's addicted to food, okay? Not everybody is. Don't do that. Don't try to make a group of people so you fit in. No, 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 no. No, no. No, not happening.
if you like junk food and you eat it
But
every
not
day.
everybody does that every day. You're the one that does. Miss going to the dollar store and buying like 3 sacks of candy bars. That's you.
Try stopping it cold turkey. It's hard. But with the binge eating and all that, I actually haven't been binge eating.
Girl, quit it. Who you talking to? I'm looking at you right now. You can give it whatever name you want. You can put it in any style you wish in front of you. At the end of the day, it's still the same thing. Whether there's little piles of things around you or one big pile, you're still eating too much of the wrong things, which lead to bad health. You're 5 feet tall, Chantal. You're 550 freaking pounds, mama. I'm 5'3". I'm 3 inches taller than you. Look at me. I'm petite. I'm petite. Hello. I'm petite. Look at this. Tiny thing. And if you didn't have all the weight on you, you might be petite you might be petite as well. Pardon me. I'm so sorry. But you should be, you're a shorty. You should be in the 110, 115, 120 pound range. You're way over that. That's why you're having so many problems. Girlfriend, there is not enough real estate on you to put all that weight. Your body don't know what to do. It don't know where to put the extra weight, and you're gaining every day. There's no property space, girl. No spare yardage. That's why the weight is building up all over you, even in your face. Your body's struggling. It is struggling hard. Hard. And you're trying to hide it, but there's no hiding it. You won't fix it though. You're out of control.
So something is working. Okay. So I don't know if it's that, I know that I get to eat something I'm craving. I don't have that stress of thinking of restricting, like, oh no, I can't eat this ever again kind of thing. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I still need to eat, and
you can eat off camera. Eat off camera. That way you're mindful of your food. Stop monetizing what's wrong with you and triggering other people.
Even though I have binge eating disorder.
You're a food addict. I don't think you have BED, because when people who have BED, they don't want other people to see what they're doing. There's a sense of embarrassment about it, a sense of shame. You don't want people to know. You don't want people to see, but you showcase yours. So you're just a straight up gluttonous food addict.
I also love food and interested in the cultural side of food. I'm also interested in like learning about different food, about trying different food.
Okay, can we talk about that? She's not a foodie. People who call themselves foodies, I mean, they're really seriously interested in the food, where it comes from, how it's sourced. If it's a bottle of wine, where'd the grapes come from? In what conditions were they grown? Where was it bottled at? How long did it age? If it's a steak, they want to know the cattle, where that came from, what grass or grain they were fed. Was it organic? Were they free range? They want to know everything about everything on their plate. She's not a foodie. She's all about, does it taste good? Can I stuff it down my throat? Okay, good. Let's go.
Food, and I love the pleasure that food brings, like good food, you know. I love
It has nothing to do with the food. It has everything to do with the dopamine, with the brain explosions. That's what she's looking for. She literally uses food to get high. She's always chasing the tail of the dragon. How can I get high today? What methods can I use?
food. I'm a foodie
No, you're not. Lies.
in that I'm passionate about food. I love food.
You're all about bulk and volume and stuffing as much down your throat as possible. That does not make you a foodie.
You know, people always say, well, how did you know to just cook things? Because I love food. And so if you love something, you know, I'm not like,
By the way, if you're such a foodie, if you love food so much, why are you such a terrible cook? I'm not a foodie and I can cook better than you. But you're claiming to be a foodie, but yet your dishes are terrible. Really not well done.
like a, I don't even measure my spices or anything. So I'm not like a cook or a chef. I don't claim to be. But
But you claim to be a foodie, so shouldn't you be?
I can make myself something good if I want to, something
But you don't.
tasty. And that's, I love food. I am a foodie and
You're a
a
food addict. There's a difference.
beauty.
And you're not a beauty either. No, more lies.
I know that makes people mad. So I just really love food. And so a big part of me wants to just get more into food. And
So she's catering to the feedy people.
um, hoping that somehow that will also mend my bad relationship with food. So
Make it make sense. I'm going to dive more into mukbangs and eat more food. And that's supposed to fix my problem with food and mend my relationship. How can you possibly mend your relationship if you are engulfed in the toxicity of it all? You can't.
we will see, but I'm done justifying myself and my uh, opening up about my health. And I know it's totally my fault, you know, but you know how annoying it is to have so many people comment carb. Just, I don't know, just like some of the comments are so annoying, and some of, I don't know, I just can't stand it. Can't stand it. So I'm really done with that. I know I say that all the time, but
Yeah, you do. And then you go back on your word, which is why nobody believes
trust me,
you.
this is gonna.
You're not consistently truthful. You are a consistent liar. Hence the reason why nobody believes a word you say. Lies, lies, can't believe a word you say.
Stick on. You're not going to see another diet video from me anymore. You know, like it's not going to. There's not going to be any diet videos. Um,
You know, I'm going to make a prediction right now. Just a prediction. I feel she's doing this trying to attract the feedy people. And then when the reaction channels were like, we're not covering this stupid mukbang, and it happens more than once, she's going to get mad because we're not covering her, and she's going to do a rage stream and go off on the reactors trying to get their attention again. I mean, we've been on this hamster wheel before.
health, whatever. That's my personal business. I don't know why I ever decided to share some things like
Because you were desperate for money.
my blood sugar and stuff. So stupid, honestly.
You wanted sympathy and super chats. You were trying to play on people's sympathy the way that you did when you were back with Natter, and you were trying to portray yourself as a DV victim when you never have been. You wanted people to step forward and go, "Oh, Chantal, you have diabetes and you have high blood sugar. I feel so bad for you. Here's $10." Nobody feels sorry for you. You want to know why? Because they see you hurting yourself. How can you feel sorry for someone that's hurting themselves? You can't. You really can't. You decided to put your hand on the stove. You decided to burn yourself. It was a decision. It was a choice. So don't expect sympathy for that choice.
So, but that's it for me. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, shut up. You're so stupid. Your stupidity makes my brain explode. Let's go on to the comments real quick. Freely Cloud says, clickbait. Fufu Egg says, which old life are you grieving? You reinvent yourself so often, it's hard to keep up, right? We all need neck braces at this point. I'm Sabrina says, change is achieved by action, not words. True. Aisha says, the crazy thing is you have diabetes. You can't be a food addict anymore. Maybe you had a choice before being diabetic, but now it's completely out of your hands. Well, tell her that. Let's see. Madonna says, I wish you could realize this is exactly why you need therapy. She needs a lot of things. She needs inpatient. People giving her advice here, telling her she needs to go to therapy and work on herself. What else we got here? Okay, so that's for some of the top comments. So we're going to cut it off here. Hope you guys enjoyed this react. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here. And I appreciate you guys watching with me. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you on more content. Have a good day, everybody. Bye now.